So welcome to the May 10th Scrapbook Live. I'm Megan Jacks out here in Washington State. Beautiful sunny day here for us. I'm going to get up to about 65. So summer's here, or well, spring's here finally, right? The trees all have their leaves on them, so it's really nice. I'm not a big fan of sticks sticking out of the ground. The part I do not like about winter is just all the tree branches. I realize Mother Nature's recharging for a beautiful summer, but I just love it when those leaves come in. So today's layout, we're doing another jumbo circle layout because I love the jumbo circle. I know I had several people who ordered the jumbo circle since last week. It's a wonderful tool. So I thought we'd do something else with it. Use the inside track this side. Well, I guess last time we used the inside track too, but we'll put it to paces. This is a great one to do with scraps. If you have all those strips of paper, mix and match your collections. We're going to use a lot of scraps. When I saw this layout, I like it as a single page layout. I think it's great. I think there are ways you could expand it into a 2-page layout. I'll talk about that as we're putting it together. What I liked about it was easy for me to just turn into a birthday layout, largely because I usually just have 2 or 3 photos from the birthdays. So when I saw this, I was like, I'm just going to do a birthday layout. I'm using party time. So a lot of the colors are actually going to be very similar to the Fresh Fusion pack that they used in the sample. The brights, just the bright colors. That's just how it worked out. I'm going to stick with the white cardstock on top just because we will be doing that pen detail. And I think that's going to stand out nicely on the white cardstock, doing some multicolored things there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to switch over here to my camera and show you guys what we've got going on. So I've got my directions. If you guys need a copy of these, it's in the first comment of the Facebook Live, or if you're watching this on YouTube later, you can see it in the description below. This is just taken from the Creative Memories blog. It was published on October 22nd of 2020. There's a QR code there for you if you've printed it and want to be able to go back to the original layout or the original blog collection or blog directions. And then if you do share this online, especially in my Scrapbooking with Megan group, if you want to use that hashtag, it just helps keep things organized within the group. But you can see here, they've got a background piece of paper. They have a white piece of cardstock that they have cut out, kind of that porthole effect where they just cut that middle. We can see those strips of paper in the background. They're just 1-inch strips. We're going to cut several of those. Well, you're going to cut them. I've already cut them. And they just use some fun patterns that goes with your theme. So whatever your theme may be. I am going to be using the Party Time collection, the Party Time Brights. I will be using blue as my background, some blue cardstock. I am going to use, as I mentioned, I'm going to use some white cardstock, just like they did. The reason I'm going with that is because they have a pen detail that they've around the outside edge of the circular window or porthole here. And I am going to go ahead and do that same detail. And by using the white cardstock, my colored pens will show up. So I have just red, blue, and yellow pens that I'm going to be using. And it also just looks really good with the all the bright colors of the Party Time collection. I've already cut several strips. Several 1-inch strips. You do not need your 1-inch strips to be, they don't have to be the full 12 inches. They really just need to be wide enough to cover most of the inside circle here. We're actually going to use the blue blade. The blue blade on the inside track is, I don't know, it's just over 8 inches. So like these red pieces are a little bit short, but I know once I do that circle on top, it's going to be just fine. So I was able to use some scraps. And I do need to cut a couple more pieces. I'm going to cut 2. Actually, I think I'm going to cut maybe 3 strips from this happy birthday tonal word paper. The opposite side is the cupcakes. So let me cut a couple of those. And then I should have all the strips I need. So I'm going to cut 3. I want to be able to maybe use the cupcake, the reverse side with the cupcakes. So I'm going to cut 3 of these pieces. I used a straight blade on all of mine. The directions indicate that you could use the decorative blade, and you certainly could. For mine, it was just easier just to stick with the straight blade. So I've got 3. I've actually got a 4th one here that I could use if I wanted to. And then of course I have photos. I have 3 photos. Just some pictures. These are usually what we do. I took a picture of my cake, just a Costco cake. They're delicious. And my husband went and got it, so it was fantastic. And then of course, me with my kids, 2 of them. The 3rd one was at college, so he, I don't even remember if we phoned him in or not for that. And then of course, blowing out the candle. So just like, these are typically the pictures we end up with at the birthdays. Very low key, just some easy ones. So I've already got those cut down to 3-inch squares. I printed these at home on my Epson PictureMate 400. I was able to put 2 of them side by side on a 4x6. I cheat a little bit. I did use Photoshop to crop them. You can print them in various ways to be able to get the small photos. But I've got 3 of them. I followed their directions. In step 4 is where they tell you to use those 3x3 photos. I went ahead and matted them to cardstock. It's actually the backside of our older cover sheets. So the ones where they were a little bit thicker, I still have some residual scraps of those. I just cut the white from scraps. They are 3 3/16 squares. And so just so you know that, I already have those done. And I did cut 3 3.5-inch squares from various tonal papers that I'll be mounting these on. So I've got my pictures already chopped up, ready to go. I've got my strips of paper. I've got quite a few. They want you to have 12. I think I have more than 12 here to play with. We're going to want to have our adhesive available. So I've got some strips of paper. The first thing I think I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm actually going to, they want us to adhere them to the middle of the layout, so the middle of the background paper. I think what I'm going to do first is just set those aside for a moment. I'm actually going to trim. I'm going to go ahead and go to step number 3 and cut my sheet of white cardstock down to 11.5 square, and I'm going to cut out my jumbo circle from the middle. What that's going to allow me to do is I can lay it over the top and just make sure I'm getting everything covered. I'll actually draw with a pencil my circle in the middle, but we're going to go ahead and cut this piece, my white cardstock. So this is the piece that I'm going to layer on top. I'm using white just like they did. You may be using a different color. I'm going to cut this down to 11.5-inch square. So cutting 1/2 inch off of each side. That's going to give me that nice thin border. Now I'm going to grab my cutting guide, or my cutting mat. I'm going to line up my paper, centering it on my cutting mat. When you have the shorter pieces of paper and they're square, come into your 45-degree angles. You have the lines coming down. I want to make sure each one of my corners touches that line. So there you can see. See how that corner has that angle line? Make sure your corners of your paper, of a square piece of paper, touch that. All 4 corners touch that angled line. You will have it centered. Grab my jumbo circle and I'm going to center it as well. I've got all of my pieces are marked on my jumbo circle. So I'm just making sure I'm centered, and I want to make sure I'm centered here because that's kind of a key portion of the layout itself, getting that circle centered in the middle. And then we're going to use the blue blade. So we're going to cut the smallest circle that we can from the inside track. So here's the piece. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. It gets cut out. You can set it to the side. You can do it with scraps. I probably could have cut those 3 3/16 cardstock pieces out of the middle here, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'll save that for something else. Now, this is where I could probably go ahead and draw my all my little circles here. And in fact, I think I'm going to. And the reason I want to do this is because if I mess it up, I can flip my piece over and draw my circles on the other side. I don't want to adhere this to my paper and then start drawing the circles, the little detailed circles. They talk about it in step 3. They talk about using the fine tip pens and drawing around the outside. But you're going to shift your, you don't leave your template centered. You could draw one with this template centered, or you can just shift it ever so slightly. And I'm going to shift mine just a little bit, and I'm going to draw with my red pen, keeping to the outside of my circle. So I've got a thin red line there. It's hard for you to see, but you can see it there. Now I'm going to shift it again so that it will, my next color, I'm going to go ahead and draw with the yellow. And I'm going to draw another circle. So there you can see, drawing another circle. And lastly, I'll do one final circle with the blue pen. Just trying to see how I want to position it. And you could do as many of these as you want. If you want 6 or 7, or you want several of the same color, you certainly could do that too. So there, I have all 3 of those circles drawn around my porthole. And if for some reason I didn't like this, I still have the other side to work with. I could flip it over and redo it. So that is one thing to do there. If you're using a cardstock, a darker colored cardstock, you can try using the thin tip of the one of our metallic pens. You could also use the chalking pen. If you have the light blue or the white chalking pen, would also be a fun option there to do. So experiment a little bit with that. So now my porthole, I guess, here is ready to go. What I am going to do now is I want to know where on here my pieces need to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay my circle on here. And then I'm going to take a pencil and just lightly trace. You guys can't see it. I can barely see it on the blue. I could probably use, well, now that I've got it in place, I could come in with this other one. Little bit darker so I can see it. There we go. Now I can see the pencil lines. I just didn't make them dark enough. There you can kind of see the pencil is a little bit shiny in the light. This lets me know what's going to be covered up. But remember, I can't go edge to edge. I've got it. I may have to trim these. So as I'm laying them out, my red pieces are short. But like my blue ones here, they're too long. So I can come in with a pair of scissors and just snip them off. And I think I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down. I don't know whether I'm going to do kind of that rainbow order. So start with red, come in with the yellow. Maybe I want to build up from the bottom. I think I'll do that. So purple. Start with some purple. And I have these blue banner paper. And I am not adhering these in. I'm just doing a dry fit. I do have that darker blue coming with that. Just making sure that I'm covering up my circle. I want to have a good healthy overlap here so that when I put my circle on, I am definitely covering up all those pieces. Green, yellow. And you can, of course, as I get this going, I'll be able to kind of angle and stagger my pieces. This first set, I'm just trying to get kind of that pattern, figure out, do I like the approach, the red. And then, of course, I would come back in with the purple. And right now I'm not using the cupcakes or the candle patterns. That's on the back side of like here. I just think it's going to be too distracting. I'm going to sit with the tonals. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. So really I need to have 6 colors pretty much cover from 6 inches down, and then 6 colors cover from 6 inches up. That's going to be kind of my guiding for spacing if I want to do 2 full sets, 2 complete rainbow sets. Just keep adding the pieces, a couple more here, and then I will have everything kind of done that dry fit. Just leave the red as it is. So there we can see how that kind of looks. I've got some adjustments I need to make down here at the bottom. Nothing's adhered into place, but we can kind of start to see how this is going to look. I can slide my paper right back over. So it's just kind of fun. Those colors. And I do want to, I want to angle things. I want it to be, I don't want it to be perfect. I don't want perfectly straight lines. I want some angles back and forth. Kind of has that just haphazard look there. You can see it starting to take shape a little bit, just that nice tonal bit. And then I'll be able to come in with my photos. And the photos are mounted on the white, but the white is then angled a little bit on that square piece. And I'm going to do this, I think, in reverse order. I want my picture with my kids. My birthday cake. This is going to need to come up just a little bit more. And then myself. And I need to remember this time, this birthday coming up, my birthday's in October, I will take a picture with my husband. I'll let Cody take our picture. But you can see how that starts to take shape. And then I do have birthday cake that I can come over here with. If I want to come in, they do show a border detail coming in off the side here. They have a border that comes in. So I can mess with that a little bit. I can bring down, probably will try to give myself a little bit more space here with the yellow, that yellow piece right there, because that really accents the blue punch here. Now, one detail that they talk about or in here that really is truly, I think, is just so much fun is the title right here. So what's great is you've got some circles, some lines here to put your stickers on. So you could, if you are going to try to put your circles on to hug the outer edge of your circle, the window that you've created, go ahead and use the lines that you've drawn. You have some room, I have some room down here if I wanted to add some journaling or additional detail. That would certainly be a great thing to do. Now, I did mention I wanted to talk briefly about how you could expand this into a second layout. Well, what I would probably do is if I had a second layout, I would come over here, mimic the blue and the white, and then you can come in with either 9 square photos and have those all lined up as a 3x3. You could take the center square and so do 8 photos around it. And the center square, you could come in with one of the, oh, now I'm not going to be able to find it. The large custom cutting system. There, where is it? The large circle. You can either come in with the large circle of the custom cutting system and create another porthole window in the middle of your layout, and you're going to do all of those squares around it. You might need to, this size should do well if you wanted to cut that. This is going to make you about, it's smaller than a 4-inch square, and that's what you want. You want to have smaller than a 4-inch square so you can have room to basically build those 9 images around it. And then what you'll do is come in with the same strips here. Maybe come in and just try to get, see how here I could get those 6 rainbow strips in there in the center of that circle. So that's probably what I would do. I would cut out a circle in the middle of my page with this is circle number 3. And I would use the red blade to give myself the biggest circle, and then go from there to make that. If you wanted to mirror your circles there, you can use the smallest circle then, circle number 1, which is run away from my bag at the moment, but you'd be able to do that, the detail, the pen detail on with circle number 4, or excuse me, circle number 1. So cut your circle out with circle number 3, use circle number 1 to draw on the outside to make that detail. Yeah, that's going to be your best bet. So I have some finishing work to do on this. I still need to add those details, but what you see here is truly what I'm going to be going for. I might make a little bit of adjustments here if I need to with this. I need to look through my party time, or maybe my grab my double balloon punch to punch some details, but I'm going to add in the just kind of how they did. I mean, overall, this is really a fantastic layout with the design. I love the title here. We're going to do a little bit of journaling detail down here, put, I don't know, maybe the year or whatever it is. They have a little embellishment there. The one thing I did like too, and I think is adorable, they came in here and they probably cut out one of the photos as a circle and mounted that onto another, like a 3x3 piece of tonal paper, that circle. I like that. I think that's super cute. The problem I ran into with this, I was going to do that. However, my birthday cake needs to be my middle photo because it just looks better to have the more for balance, to have the people in the photos in the top and the bottom, and then come in with the birthday cake for the middle. But that porthole effect here, or with that circle image, works best in the middle, and I couldn't do that with my cake. So that's why I didn't do that. If I were to do it, I think that's super cute to do that, to cut one of the images as a circle. And instead of putting a photo on there, you start with a 3-inch piece of designer paper and then go ahead and cut a circle. You're going to cut it from something like circle number 2 on the inside track. And I think it maybe gives you the direction there. Or it says, or use the custom cutting system to make some circles. If you don't want to use squares here, you can use the custom cutting system. To make the small one that's here in the middle, you're going to use probably circle number 2, which is the medium circle. If you want to cut some that are just 3-inch circles, you could probably come in with the circle number 1 and consider using the blue or the green blades on the inside track there, and you'll get some nice size circles that will fit here really well. All right, so that's Scrapbook Live for today. I've got a few things I'm going to finish up on this, get everything adhered down, but there won't be, I don't think, too many changes from what you see here. Just those final finishing details that I always try to take care of off camera so that you're not just staring at me getting nitpicky on placement. So yeah, the second page, hopefully some of you maybe have a chance to do it, but I know sometimes when we do those single pages and it has a little bit more excitement there, or more of a statement page where it has all that design detail, and it's a little bit like, well, what do I do now? Especially for those of you who do prefer to make 2-page layouts. Maybe you have more photos. You don't just have 3 photos. You have a whole party that you're wanting to showcase different things. But expanding that into the second page will give you that the ability to add those additional details as well. So that, like I said, that's Scrapbook Live. In terms of announcements, I believe next week we are going to have a product launch from Creative Memories. Right now, there's still a promotion going on. The Iron Gate Border Punch is still available free with purchase of $100 or more. Those are US. If you're in Canada or Australia, it's a different price point, but definitely check the website for the specifics there. I believe that goes through Friday at noon, or noon Central Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. So, but it could sell out sooner. So just keep that in mind. I don't know what's coming on Friday. We are expecting, I think, at some point, a secret box. Is it going to be Friday? I don't know. It might be the very first release in June, which I think actually is going to be the end of the month if we stay on the same release schedule that Creative Memories had last year. So, but we should know on Friday at noon Central, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll announce that. The Creative Memories will announce it to advisors, and of course, then we share it with all you. And next week, there will be no Scrapbook Live. I'm going to be on a beach somewhere. Well, in Mexico. I mean, I know where I'm going to be, but I will hopefully be on a beach, or maybe touring a tequila plantation, or on a boat, or looking at birds in Mexico. Tessa really wants to go bird watching, so we'll see how that goes. I bought bug spray. I figured I was going to need some, and some suntan lotion, so I have all those ready to pack into my bag. The non-aerosol kind. I had to get the sprays or the lotions, just basic stuff. And then I'll be back after that. We will have Scrapbook Live again. Our next edition of it will be in 2 weeks, so that should be the 24th. The 24th is not the last Friday or the last Wednesday of the month. The 31st actually is. So we will do a regular page layout on the 24th, and then the 31st will be the borders. We'll do borders. I do want to highlight that Tessa and our registration is open for our summer scrap challenge. So if you're looking for kind of a bash your stash, keep that motivation going during summer, but yet not too much pressure. This is not a layout a day type event. You certainly are more than welcome to create a layout a day as part of our scrapbook challenge, but we provide a couple of inspirational ideas during the week and a challenge layout. Then there's also a throwback layout. So there's 2 items a week that we do. It's 8 weeks long for basically the month of June and July. And it's just meant to keep you motivated without, but take it at your own pace. If you're going on vacation for a couple weeks, no big deal. You'll have everything's waiting for you when you get back, or you can, and then you have clear until August 15th to complete the challenges. We do have a a page tracker. So there is a, kind of a little bit of contest to who creates the most scrapbook pages, but there is no, there's other ways to earn prizes by just completing our challenges and stuff. So it's fun. We have a separate Facebook group that we set up for this, and we just have a really good time. It's about, creative layouts, but yet that are practical, easy to do. We want you to have easy wins in the summer because you're gardening, you're outside enjoying family and friends, or you're just sitting on your patio, hopefully enjoying some good weather, or maybe hanging out in the air conditioning, which if you're inside, you might as well be scrapbooking, right? So those are the big announcements. I don't think I have anything else to share. So hopefully you guys are enjoying using the jumbo circle. Everything that I showed today, except for the cake punch, is currently available on the website. I do expect us at some point in the future to be getting a new birthday collection. Creative Memories surveyed advisors several weeks ago about color palettes and things like that for it. So if you love party time, it's going to be a good one to, I love it. It's wonderful. I don't know what the new one's going to look like, but I do know that if you like party time, at some point there will be a replacement for it. So if you're looking for a new one, but yeah, we will have the party time is, in my opinion, is like the perfect birthday collection. I've had so much fun working with it. So thanks for joining me again. I'm going to get this layout finished, post the final version of it on my Facebook page, and then we'll get the video uploaded to YouTube. So if you came in at the very end, give me another hour and a half, and we'll have it all on YouTube. And of course, right after I end, Facebook puts it right back that you guys can watch it again if you need to. So take care, enjoy the weather, stay safe as you're having a good, fun holiday. Or it's not a holiday. It's a holiday for me. I'm going on vacation next week. We'll have fun in Mexico. I'm sure we'll have some wild stories. Well, not so wild. We're like middle-aged ladies. But we'll have some good stories to share with you guys when we get back. All right, take care. I'll talk to you soon.